Hello and welcome to Gunning for Glory with me, Digvijay Singh Deo. The Olympics are the pinnacle of sporting glory and demand sacrifice whether you are an athlete, a coach or even a broadcaster. Over the next 2 weeks and a bit, we will bring you all the highs and lows from Tokyo 2020 on this show. The beleaguered Tokyo Olympics have gone over budget. They have been postponed by a year. They have lurched from one controversy to another and they continue to be plagued by uncertainty due to COVID-19. But the Olympics are finally underway with the opening ceremony currently on at the National Stadium. Massive protests outside the stadium reminded the world of the opposition to the Games inside Japan. Tokyo is currently under a state of COVID-19 emergency and the Games are being held without spectators for the first time in history. French President Emmanuel Macron and US First Lady Jill Biden were among the high-profile attendees. Less than 1,000 guests are present inside the stadium for the ceremony, which is subdued and lacks the usual song and dance routines of previous Olympic Games. A minute's silence was held for those who have lost their lives to COVID-19, but it was drowned out by the noise of the protests. History was created as the Greek team marched into the stadium with shooter Anna Korakaki and gymnast Eleftherios Petrounias jointly holding the flag, making this the first instance of a male and female flag bearer at the Games. A very small Indian contingent marched inside the ceremony with boxing legend MC Mary Kom and hockey captain Manpreet Singh leading the team out. 205 nations and a refugee Olympic team are participating at the Olympics, with North Korea the only country to pull out over COVID-19 concerns. Now, the archery competition at the Tokyo Games got underway at the Umenoshima Park, and there were no surprises. Korean archers topped the men's and women's ranking rounds, and the Indian team has disappointed. The Korean women's team has won every gold medal at the Olympics since 1988, and Ansan broke the 25-year-old Olympic record by shooting a score of 680 out of a maximum 720 following 72 arrows. Her teammate Min Hee Jang was second at 677 and Chae Young Kang shot 675, with the three combining to also set an Olympic team record of 2,032 points. Deepika Kumari, the world number one in the individual events, finished 9th in the ranking round with a score of 663, and she's projected to face Ansan in the quarterfinals. In the men's round, 17-year-old debutant Kim Jae-duk beat his more fancy teammates Oh Jin-hyek and Kim Woo-jin to the top score with a score of 688, while world number one and world record holder Brady Ellison of America took second ahead of the other two Koreans. Praveen Jadhav was the highest-ranked Indian at 31st place with 656, while Atanu Das scored 653 and Tarundeep Rai shot 652. The Indian men's team, silver medalists at the World Championships, finished 9th and they will face Kazakhstan in the first round. Deepika Kumari and Jadhav have been seeded 9th for the mixed team event, which makes it debut at these games, and the Archery Association has decided to go with merit ahead of sentiment, with Kumari reportedly keen on her husband Das to partner her on Saturday. The first gold medal of the Olympic Games will come from the sport of shooting, with the women's 10-meter air rifle event. And India has two starts in this event in debutant Elavinil Valarivan and Apurvi Chandela. Valarivan is the world number one in the event and is a protege of 2012 Olympic medalist Gagan Narang. She won the 2019 ISSF World Cup in Rio de Janeiro and then followed it up by winning the gold at the season-ending World Cup finals. Chandela won 2 gold medals over the course of the 2019 season, and that saw her also ranked world number one before the mantle was taken over by her young teammate. Chandela won the Commonwealth Games gold in 2014, and she will be competing in her second Olympics after Rio. The second shooting event of the day is being closely watched, with Saurabh Chaudhary and Abhishek Verma both tipped for Olympic glory in the 10-meter air pistol event. Verma is the world number one and he has been a standout performer since winning a medal on his debut at the 2018 Asian Games. 19-year-old Chaudhary is the overwhelming favourite. He is the reigning Asian Games gold medalist, the junior world champion, and he's also won the Youth Olympic gold medal in 2018. Chaudhary has won 5 World Cup medals in the sport since being picked in the senior team at the start of 2019. Another strong contender for a medal is weightlifter Weightlifter Chanu, who will compete in the women's 49 kg event at the Tokyo International Forum. Chanu is seeking to emulate Indian weightlifting legend Karnam Malleswari, who won a bronze medal at the Sydney Olympics and remains the only weightlifter from the country to stand on the Olympic podium. 26-year-old Chanu is the reigning Commonwealth Games champion and also won the 2017 World Championships in the 48 kg category. Chanu has recovered completely from a back injury that wiped out her 2018-19 season, and she trained with experts in St. Louis, America, before flying into Tokyo. Chanu set a world record lift of 119 kgs at the Asian Championships and is tipped to be on the podium alongside Chinese favourite Zihui Hu. So the first day of the Olympic Games can set the tone for an exceptional performance for India. And never before has an Indian team gone into day one with the possibilities of multiple medals. Manisha Malhotra is an Olympian and a sports administrator and works with India's Olympic sportspersons. She worked with Abhinav Bindra ahead of the 2008 gold and also Yogeshwar Dutt in 2012 and a few on the Tokyo roster as well. She joins me now. Manisha, the word from Tokyo is that the buzz surrounding an Olympic Games is missing, but I'm trying to remember a time when the Olympic team went in with 4 medal hopefuls on day one. Now, momentum is a key start and it could spark off what people are hoping to be India's best ever showing at the Games.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. We've never really gone into a game with so many medal hopefuls on the first day, and the way the format has played out. And you're absolutely right also about the fact that the Olympics are a little subdued due to the pandemic. And I think that, it's obviously not the same buzz and hoopla around the games as it normally is. But I actually believe that that is something that could definitely work in our favor. And our athletes have enough experience actually playing in empty stadiums, and they're used to that. So I think that the magnanimity of the moment will not bear too much on them this time. So tomorrow's a big day. It's make or break for our quest to get to double digits in the medal tally, I think. And if we can manage to come out of tomorrow with at least 2, I think it's a good stead, and it'll really ease the pressure for the ones to follow and really, have people being able to compete in a free and open manner.
Now, you're calling it a make or break day, but for the last 3 years, Weightlifter Chanu has been sort of under the radar. Now, the rest of the contenders cannot be absolutely sure of getting a medal because of the way their sports are configured. But in Chanu's case, 2 batted lifts in snatch and clean and jerk should do the trick, because this is a sport, Manisha, where you can predict a medal.
Yeah, I know, but in weightlifting again, it's the pressure and it's the strategy. I think that the Chinese who have not been around are going to be around, obviously, for the Olympic Games, and there's a couple more who've not been around for 1 year who are going to show up. But if she lifts the 114, what she lifted earlier, it's going to be a medal for sure. We're all keeping our fingers crossed, and that could kind of start off the day. She's the first one to go, I think. She's the first medal that could be announced, because with shooting, they're going to shoot earlier, but the finals will only be in the afternoon.
You spoke about shooting, and shooting is an unpredictable sport. And here you have world number 1, Elavinil Valarivan, and then former world number 1, Apurvi Chandela in the fray. Now, 10-meter air rifle is a very fickle event, and having worked with Abhinav Bindra, what, in your opinion, will be key here?
Well, I think the key here and the key in every Olympic Games is just to kind of handle the pressure. And whether we say anything or not, there is still immense pressure for these athletes. They know that this is the Olympic Games. And it'll be interesting to see. Apurvi, I think, goes in a little bit more seasoned. This is not her first Olympic Games. This is actually her second. So she's going to know what to expect. And when she actually goes in there, it won't be as intense as Rio. So she might actually be able to kind of, ease up a little bit and feel good about herself. She's been shooting very, very well. And coming back over the last few months, she's really kind of in the nick of things. Avinal is young still, and she's world number one, that's for sure. She definitely has the quality. But it'll be interesting to see. These Olympic Games kind of bring out the character, and it reveals a lot about athletes and kind of exposes every bare weakness in such a blatant manner. So it's easy for us armchair critics to sit on the sidelines and criticize, but it takes a lot of guts and a lot of, mental strength to be able to come through this. So let's see how she does. And I think that if she does decent, she definitely has the quality to be able to win.
Okay, when you're talking about quality to win, we have Saurabh Chaudhary, who has perhaps been the best talent to have emerged in world shooting across disciplines since the Rio Games. The word from Tokyo is that he has been shooting excellent scores from the day he has landed there. And alongside him and under the radar again is Abhishek Verma, who is the world number one in the event.
Yeah, I mean, the shooting depth of our contingent is immense. And I think that, any one of our guys can win on any given day. So that's definitely the case. Saurabh has been the only word to describe him over the years, at least the last couple of years, has been spectacular. There's been, he's been surprising every person on every turn. And just when you think that, okay, this guy is now going to plateau, he kind of pushes the bar again. So he's one of those very, very special athletes. I think the Shooting Federation should be proud about him. He's done very, very well. And he's one of those individuals who kind of, walks to his own drum roll kind of situation. He has his own methods and he has his own personality, and he doesn't try and tinker with that. And I think that, kudos to the coaches and to the staff of the Shooting Federation, where the NRAI has done a very good job of managing him and letting him be. He reminds me a lot of Abhinav in that sense. He, of course, a very different personality, but, these are the kind of people who kind of know what they need and they want to do it their way. And I'm really proud of the fact that the coaches have let him, do it his way. And so it'll be interesting. Again, it's a first Olympics. So, he's never been on this stage, and it's very hard right now to say whether he's going to kind of excel or he might crumble a little bit or whatever. But he's definitely a prospect who's going to be winning year in and year out for many, many years.
Okay, Manisha Malhotra, as always, thanks for your perspective. Looking forward to having you join us over the course of these Olympic Games. Let's brace ourselves for a great start from India's sportspersons.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.